What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today, guys, I'm going to do a different type of video. I don't really do this type of stuff, but I do get this question come up in like live streams that I do and everything, and that is my biggest Blu-ray and 4K buying regrets. I have people that always ask me this question. I never like know what to say or how to answer the question, so I don't know, this just kind of came into my head the other day and I was like, I need to do a video on this. I say often, I was like, I don't really regret buying anything because it adds to the collection. It's a part of my collecting journey and story. So I don't really regret buying anything. But when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, there's some stuff that I regret buying for sure. But before we get into talking about it, if it's your first time discovering me here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I do all kinds of physical media, Blu-ray, 4K content on this channel every single day. You will definitely enjoy it. So hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to like this video and comment down below. So share some of your, let's turn this into story time. Share some of your buying regrets. What did you buy? Why did you buy it? And why do you regret buying it? Share that down in the comment section below, and then also turn on the bell notifications for all future videos. So let's get right into it. I've got a stack of stuff. I've got Walmart, Best Buy, Target exclusives. I got just random boutique titles that I wish I didn't get. I've got certain editions that I wish I got other editions of instead. Some of this stuff's recent, some of this stuff's 2 or 3 years ago. There's just a wide spectrum of stuff that we're going to talk about today. But I'm going to start with this RLJE title that I'm sure not a lot of, I can honestly apply this to several RLJE titles, but these two in particular, I just really didn't enjoy the movies. And after I watched them, I was like, I just don't know why I bought these. Like, why did I spend $13, $14 on these? But the first one is Scare Me. And this one has like a star from The Boys TV show on Amazon. I forget her name on the show. I think it's like Stormbringer or Stormbreaker or something, but it's Aya Cash. And the tagline is, what could go wrong at a cabin in the woods? This movie, I don't know. I just did not enjoy it. It tried to be funny. It tried to insert like a certain level of comedy in there, but then it tried to be scary at the same time. It just didn't work. Like, for whatever reason, like tonally, I just did not enjoy this movie at all. I didn't enjoy anything that it was trying to do. And the performances are like, seriously, I know people use this word a lot, cringe. It's very cringe. All the performances are, they're very awkward, and they're also just very annoying. It's just a very annoying movie to watch. So when I was finished with that one, I was like, why did I spend $14 on this? And I've said it before, I'll buy the RLJ titles because they're cheap. And if they're bad, they're bad. I'm not really out that much money, but I could really have put my $14 to better use for sure. Scare Me is not a good movie. Don't buy that. I actually did a full review on the channel on that movie. But the next one is The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. And this is starring Sam Elliott. So with this premise and title, and you got Sam Elliott, who I love in almost everything, I was expecting like a full-on like Bigfoot versus man movie, or just like a regular Bigfoot movie. It's really not that. It's like, I don't know, it was so incredibly boring. I'll be honest, I think I fell asleep like 30 minutes in, and I woke up at like the ending. So maybe something happened in the middle that I wasn't aware of, but I don't feel like a lot of people really enjoyed this movie. It's got, yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. It's very boring for a movie with this premise. It's 97 minutes, and I hate the feeling of this slipcover. Can I just say that? I hate the way the slipcover feels. It's like velvet, and I have a weird thing with like textures and velvet. I just don't like the way that feels. So I'm going to take points against it too. I might put some of this stuff for sale on my Instagram actually when I'm done with this, because I don't really want this stuff in the collection anymore. But yeah, The Man Who Shot Hitler, that sounds, it's such a cool title, but the movie's so boring. And Sam Elliott, from what I remember, just wasn't good. And whoever wrote this, Alan Simmons, you are a jackass. An absolute American classic. Really, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot is an absolute American classic. Are you kidding me, Alan Simmons? From Live for Films. I hate to call you out and Live for Films, but you suck. You suck for this tagline. I'll just say that. I'm just kidding. You don't suck. I'm sure you're a really nice guy. I shouldn't judge you on your tagline for horrible movies, but this is bad. Don't buy that one. Again, it was another, I was like, why did I spend $13, $14 on this? So let's get into stuff that actually did cost me quite a bit of money, and all these years later, I'm just like, why did I do this? So there was a point in time in my collecting, I hadn't really like fully embraced boutique labels. And I was just really getting into like Best Buy exclusive Steelbooks, Target edition. I liked the Marvel movies a lot at the time. I was watching a lot of those and the Disney movies and, you know, some of the bigger movies, mainstream movies. I was going to the theater every single week, seeing everything. And I was just really into collecting, you know, for the mainstream titles and the exclusives and all that stuff. So when a Marvel movie came out, when a Disney movie came out, when a Star Wars movie, when a DC movie, or just any movie that I liked that I saw in the theaters and it had multiple editions, I would try to buy all those versions. I would get the Target edition, I would get the Best Buy edition, and I really don't do that anymore. I will pick an edition and get that, and that'll usually be it, unless I really love the movie. But back in these days, I was buying everything, and this will be apparent by what I'm getting ready to show you. But some of the designs for like Disney, and you know, some of these mainstream Steelbooks are horrible. Like Lionsgate's killing it nowadays. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of companies that are putting out cool Steelbooks now, but back then, back 3 or 4 years ago, and still today, like with the Disney Steelbooks, you'll find one that's like, really? Like, we got Doctor Strange coming out next week. That Steelbook looks like dog shit. They just are so lazy. Warner Brothers, Disney, all the new Steelbooks for new movies, just like 9 times out of 10 suck. But let's get into this first one, and that is Ant-Man versus the Wasp, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think is what it was, not versus the Wasp. But this is just so horrible, and I'm just like, why did I get this? I don't care about Ant-Man and the Wasp that much. I saw it in the theaters. I was like, yeah, it was a pretty good Marvel movie. It has a matte finish, you know, which I'm not a huge fan of all the time. And it's just like, what is this? It's just like multiple versions of each. I get like they're trying to say, oh, they're going fast or they're shrinking or whatever, but it's just so lazy. It's like there's no design behind the characters. It's just like these little hexagons behind them, and I get it, it's ants, but you couldn't put some stuff behind them, like some artwork, some scenery, some stuff from the movie, some different characters, maybe the giant Ant-Man that shows up in the movie, I don't know, something. Like, this is so lazy, but I bought it for 35 bucks. What was I thinking? And also the Ralph Breaks the Internet Steelbook. Now, WreckIt Ralph, they came out with an awesome Steelbook that was like an arcade machine. It was very inspired. It was a great Steelbook. One of the best in my collection, honestly, but this one is just so plain and boring. It just has Ralph on the front. It has Penelope. Was that her name? Penelope. And it's just like Ralph Breaks the Internet again with this white background. Like, what was Disney doing? I think both of these came out around the same time. What is this? Like, who comes up with a Steelbook and said that's a good idea for a Steelbook? It's so like minimalist, and you know, in some cases that's fine, that's cool, but like with this, like you could have done so much with like the colors of the movie. Like you could have had the Disney princesses, like all those on the back or something. It's just so boring, and I just don't like inside, and that digital code's already been redeemed. So, but look at that, the colors on the discs, like the disc art is awesome. The disc art's awesome. Like they could have done stuff like that, but I don't know. It's a horrible Steelbook. But let's get into the worst Steelbook I've ever bought, ever. Hands down, this is the worst. The Incredibles 2 Best Buy exclusive Steelbook is an abomination against humanity, and it needs to be burned. One of these days, I'm going to do a video where I just burn this thing. First, I'm going to look up if it's worth any money first. But what the fuck is with this Steelbook? Like, it's a washing machine with the Incredibles costume inside. I talked about the Steelbook before, my disdain for it. Every single time I bring it out, it pisses me off even more. I spent $35 for this damn thing. Why? Why did I do that? I wasn't even making videos at this time. I was just buying this stuff. So there was literally no reason for me to get this. I also got the Target exclusive, I believe, of Incredibles 2, which I haven't taken out of the packaging yet. And that's a good edition. It's got some good artwork on it. It was back when Target actually gave a shit about their exclusives, which we'll get into that here in a second as well. But a washing machine. And on the back, you have a clothes hamper with the Incredibles costume. What is it again with the minimalistic background, just like nothing but like this horrible, like bluish, grayish background wall. What is this? And then you look inside and look at this. You got all these like cool silhouettes and stuff. Like, and again, this is another case where they came out with an Incredibles 4K Steelbook right before this. And that was amazing, the silhouette of all of them. And I still had that in my collection. That's one of my favorite Steelbooks as well. But this is just lazy. Like all the new Steelbooks that they release, if it's not like a past movie, just are some of the worst. Just some of the worst in my collection. This is definitely by far the worst Steelbook I have in my collection. I want to just start banging it against the desk right now and just destroy it right here on air. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be respectful to the Steelbook. There might be somebody that wants this. I don't know. But yeah, I've talked about that one before. You guys know how much I hate that Steelbook. But let's get into the next one. This is a Walmart exclusive. This is The Rise of Skywalker. I hated this movie when I saw it in the theaters. I still hate it. I have not watched it. I can't stomach, you know, watching this again. I can't work up the nerve to watch it again, I think is what I was trying to say. But I hated this movie when I saw it in theaters. Absolutely hated it. Such a horrible conclusion to this trilogy. The Last Jedi I do enjoy, but again, that definitely set this trilogy on a path that it could not recover from. But this movie's horrible. This movie horrible. It tries to walk back everything that The Last Jedi did because, you know, they were trying to please the fans, and it feels like a jumbled mess. Like it just has no direction. And I hate it. I love Star Wars. Like the original trilogy, I will say, that's my Star Wars, and I'm sticking to it, and everything else, I just don't care about anymore. I don't care. Prequels are okay. I can enjoy those for what they are now. But yeah, I can't get down with all this new Disney Star Wars stuff, and this movie's horrible. But for some reason, I bought the Walmart exclusive. It's a cool exclusive, I guess, but it's like, I shouldn't have bought this. I really shouldn't have bought this. I should have held out later on down the line. Maybe I could have, because I don't even own all the Star Wars movies on 4K, so it's like, why did I want this on 4K? I could have, you know, waited till later on down the line where they sell them all on 4K. I can buy a box set edition of them, but I just didn't like this movie, so I don't know why I spent $35 on the Walmart edition, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I definitely regret buying that. And then all these Target exclusives, I bought them all recently. Black Widow, you got Raya and the Last Dragon, and West Side Story. I got Eternals over there. I should have brought that one over here as well. But again, I'm happy, I guess I have them in the collection. I just don't get why I bought these Target editions. I didn't need to. These Target editions are so lazy now because they're literally just the case in them. And I would much rather have the slipcover instead of this like big bulky case that doesn't have any booklets or anything in it. It's just art cards. It's just art cards and all that stuff. And there's just nothing special about these Target releases anymore. They used to care, and they would have like big booklets inside and cards, and it used to be this whole like a digibook thing where you'd open it up and all the discs would be in there. And now it's just this bullshit. You just open up the cover and it's that, and then you got the cards in the side, and then the disc is in here. It's just, it's horrible. It's a horrible design that hopefully Target gets their crap together soon, but I definitely regret buying all those. I could have saved $5 and just bought the regular 4K slipcover editions and probably been much happier with those in the collection, but this one is the worst. This is the worst Target exclusive that they've ever done. It pisses me off probably more than the Incredible Steelbook. At least the Incredible Steelbook is a Steelbook. So it still has that collector's item appeal to it. This is just bullshit. Straight up bullshit. The Lion King Target exclusive 4K. Again, I bought this. This is on me. Like, I saw this in Target. I picked it up. I saw what it was. Maybe I was confused. Maybe I thought it was more than it was when I got it home. I saw what it was, but I thought this was supposed to be like a big like digipack edition or something. But all this is a, let me show you this. I put this back on here, but anyway, I'll take out the 4K, but the regular 4K is inside. Okay. And it's got some like art cards that are like some of the worst art cards I've ever seen in any edition. But all this is a clear plastic case with a J card on it. It's a clear freaking plastic case. That's all it is. And with putting the movie inside. And it's like, why do I want this? Why do I want to display this on the shelf? This is so stupid looking. Thankfully, and this is the first time that I'm switching these out, but thankfully somebody sent me the slipcover to this in my P.O. box. So I actually have the Lion King 4K slipcover that I can put this in and display it happily. And I threw all this bull crap in a box over to the side. But yeah, it's pathetic. Like, this is the most pathetic Target edition that I've ever seen. But thankfully, like I said, I've got the slipcover now. So all is good. But I spent like $35 on that, and the 4K slipcover was actually cheaper. So it's like, why did I just get the 4K slipcover? I spent $5 for some crappy art cards and a clear slipcover case. It's ridiculous. So these last three I picked up pretty recently. Sorceress, I grabbed in the Synop sale. This is, I don't know what I paid for this. I feel like I paid like $18, $19 for this. This is just like straight up softcore porn that you would see on Cinemax in the 90s and early 2000s. It really has no like horror movie value to it. Like, it's not scary. It's not suspenseful. It's just this witch story. I don't even know what the hell I was watching. To be honest, I was on my phone like half the movie. I was like, this is horrible, horrible acting, but it is just like girls, sex, and just nudity scenes throughout the entire. It's a Skinemax movie from the 90s is what this is. It's not a horror movie at all, and I thought that it was at least going to have some merit as an actual horror film. It's got Linda Blair. It's got horror icon Linda Blair in it. What was she doing in the 90s? I guess she was struggling for work, so she had to do like the 90s Skinemax movies. But yeah, this is awful. And the worst part of it all is every single girl gets naked in this movie except for Linda Blair. It's like, why did I buy this? Why did I buy this? Sorceress, $17. I will absolutely be selling this off to somebody. Like, I don't want it in the collection. But yeah, that just highlights, like, I need to do my research a little bit better when I'm doing these Synop sales and like looking at stuff. Cause yeah, this is horrible. People warned me about this. But I did not listen to the warnings. I got it anyway. But yeah, thank you for anybody that warned me, but that's horrible. Definitely regret buying that. This Chucky, Zavvi exclusive, I pre-ordered. I just thought this is going to be a cooler edition than what it actually ended up being. I think I spent like $50 something after I imported this. I could have just bought the regular slipcover edition that was in Best Buy because that actually had a slipcover to it. This is a cool little lenticular, but I don't like the little stickers down there. And I don't know. It's just when you take it out, I like the regular Blu-ray case. This is like a thick Blu-ray case. It's got some, cool art cards and stuff in it. These are like really nice art cards. Like the picture quality on these art cards is really cool. Unlike the Lion King ones. It has a booklet, but at the end of the day, I don't know why I spent $50 on something like this when I could have just spent $20 to buy the regular slipcover edition in stores, and then I wouldn't have to play it in a region-free player. I could just play it in my regular Blu-ray player. But yeah, the Chucky season 1, again, like, I'm happy to have it in the collection. It's just not something I really feel like I needed to spend $55 on to get versus the $20 slipcover edition. I should have just bought that in Best Buy and not got this. So I definitely regret buying this. I also regret, not because this isn't a great movie and a great transfer from Scream Factory, but I regret getting this vinyl case of Escape from New York. I spent like $65 on this when the 4K, the regular 4K standalone, which is displayed on my shelf right now, was only $27.99. So I should have just bought that and not spent $65 on this. And the only thing you get, like, this case is cool, but it's just not practical to put up on my shelf. Like, I'm struggling to like figure out where to put it. I'm sure I can display it somewhere at some point. And then inside you have this vinyl. It's not a full vinyl. It's only got like 2 songs on it. It's got 1 song on side A, 1 song on side B. So I just don't know why I got it. Again, I could have saved like 35 bucks on that one, but this is a great 4K release. I mean, it's one of the best of the year, great transfer and really great movie. But yeah, those are all my regrets. I may do a part 2 at some point. I'm sure there's some other stuff back there that I regret buying, but appreciate you guys watching. Please in the comment section below, let me know some of your greatest buying regrets, physical media buying regrets in the comment section below. Also, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on the bell notifications, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.